Hey guys, so for today's video I wanted to do something that sounded really fun to me. I have a lot of really awesome people that I've met in the world and on Facebook, and I thought for this video I'm going to review all the books by people that I am friends with on Facebook. Now it's not strict with that. A few people I might not actually be friends with on there, but I just kind of know from around, but it'll still be fun, I think, so let's get to it. Alright, first up is All My Friends Are Rock Stars by Theron Moore. I'm going to be honest, I never finished this one. I bought it a while back from him and I just kind of never got around to reading it. But it is a scene history of the Milwaukee, Wisconsin and Rockford, Illinois kind of alternative, so like punk and metal scene in the 80s and 90s. And I'm a big fan of those kinds of books, so I definitely wanted to mention it here and kind of let you guys know to check it out. Let's see. Next is, well, it's two books. We've got Vision Quest and Bad Year. Those are both by my friend Josh White. Josh and I were roommates years and years ago in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And these two are graphic novels. Bad Year, it was a little hard for me, mainly because it deals with some trauma and depression, which is not terrible, but it's just kind of the topic. I liked Vision Quest a little better because it deals with kind of like Columbus, Ohio and Albuquerque, New Mexico, and a young man traveling in between to get back a woman that he used to be with, and I just like hearing about places I lived. This one is Not Your Mother's Meatloaf, which I love this book. These girls are not on my friends list, but it is written by Saya Miller and Liza Blay, and it is a compilation. I think they had a zine of this, but it's a compilation of different people's comics about sexuality and gender and just all sorts of different sex education topics. And if you ever get the chance to check this book out, I recommend it 100%. It is amazing. I actually picked this up at the Albuquerque Zine Fest, which wearing the shirt for it right here. So that happens every year in October in Albuquerque around my birthday. So I try to make it when I can. Let's see. Next we've got Punk's Not Dead. This is the most recent book I picked up. It's by a Las Vegas local Marat. Well, he wasn't always local. He grew up in the UK, and this book is about his first kind of trip away from home for 2 weeks, traveling around London and seeing shows and hanging out and basically learning how to be on the street and take care of himself. And I just read this book and I really kind of like it. It reminds me of being young and when I was traveling, although I was not in London in the early 80s. I wasn't that lucky, but it's a fun book, so I would recommend picking it up. Let's see. Next, okay, now we're getting into my two favorite authors, or at least two of them, but two that are on my list. So next I've got a book called Drugs Are Nice by Lisa Crystal Carver. I fucking love this book. It is amazing. It's a memoir about her time in a band called Suck Dog, band, performance art, whatever you want to call it, and writing her zine Roller Derby, which I have a couple of her other books here related to that. I just wanted to show you. But this book, it just kind of tells her life from childhood a little bit up through teenage years and starting the band and being married to Jean-Louis Costes and having Boyd Rice's baby, like in between all these writing roller derby and traveling around and just kind of living this awesome life. And I just love her perspective, and I friended her on Facebook so I could follow her. She's still writing zines. She actually doesn't live too far away from where I live, so if you find her on Patreon, you should follow her. I think she's still doing zines out there. Next, another one of my favorite books. It's called Chinese Takeout. It's by Arthur Narizian. He's most famous for writing a book called The Fuck Up. I read that one, and I also read Unlubricated, and I like Unlubricated a lot. The Fuck Up's okay, but it's not my favorite. But Chinese Takeout I love. It's about an artist called Orr Trenchant, and kind of his running around and being his own worst enemy in New York, and it gets the name Chinese Takeout because he gets hired to make a unique gravestone for a Chinese takeout magnate, and kind of just how that goes. And he's woefully underskilled for the project, but you know, he gets it done, and I just love this book. And Arthur, I do believe, has a new book coming out in July, so you should look him up and check out his new book when it comes out. Finally, this is not a book that anyone I know wrote, but I wanted to pick it up because two of my Facebook friends, actually one of them is a really good friend of mine and used to be my roommate, but two of them are in it. This book is called Punk and Neo-Tribal Body Art. And my friend Nick, who was like my first roommate when I was traveling, I just got off the road, he let me move in, and we've been friends for I don't know, 10 or 15 years now. And then I didn't realize until he posted it himself, but Jeff Janiak from Discharge, the new singer of Discharge, was also in the book. But I thought that was a really fun idea to do a video of, so I'm really glad I got to do this finally. I hope you guys will check out the books and go support the authors, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.